What's up guys, my name is Ben and this is going to be my first YouTube video, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I got 4 out of 4 medical school interview offers and generally what I did and the general tips and tricks and what to do and what not to do when applying to medical school in the UK. So a general bit of information, I'm a gap year student and I actually applied the first time around and got 4 straight rejections. So now applying the second time around, I've got 4 out of 4. So hopefully I've picked up some tips and tricks along the way and I'd like to share them with you. So just brief overview, I applied to UCL, Manchester, St Andrews and Plymouth medical schools, to which I have the interviews. The first time around I applied to Exeter, Cardiff, Edinburgh and Newcastle. Right, so let's get started with this timeline. So when I was in GCSEs, I, to be honest, had no idea I wanted to do medicine. I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do. But I did my best. So at the end of the day, you don't have to know you want to do medicine at GCSEs. I don't think anyone really does. Be trying to do your best. So GCSEs are not the be all end all for getting into medicine. Yeah, you need to have good ones. You need to get past the minimum grades, but they're not the be all end all. So just do your best. And for example, for reference, I got 2 A stars, 4 A's, 3 B's and a C. It's not the best, but yeah, sorry. And then, so when you're applying for when you're going to your sixth form of college, you want to be doing A levels that are going to help you for medicine. So ones, for example, chemistry is strongly looked for in most medical schools, if not all. So you want to be doing chemistry, and I would definitely take biology because it will help you in medical school as well as being quite fascinating. And then a third subject. So the third subject, I would pick one that makes you a more, as they so to say, well-rounded candidate. I did maths, which apparently isn't the best. For example, in Oxford and Cambridge, UCL, Imperial, I think they like someone to do like, some English literature, more creative, history, I don't know, because it also gives you different skills in writing, which can help you when you're doing scientific research and also in your entrance exams and your personal statement writing, because for example the BMAT looks at section 3 as an essay. Anyway, I got off topic. So yeah, pick some A levels that are to do with that are required for medicine. So you can start in year 12. So throughout year 12, you're going to be wanting to get some extra volunteer work or job involving teamwork, communication, resilience, all the skills of being a doctor. So they just want someone who's essentially a superhuman, who's doing above what the normal person would be doing. So during year 12, like I said, arrange volunteer work. If you can get it working with different ability people, so either in a care home with the elderly or disabled children, or I think it's called SEND students now, or anything like that, or even, as I said, a part-time job. So it's very flimsy, but you can very easily translate skills into a medical setting. For example, I worked in Tesco over my year 12 for a bit, I think 9 months, and so I was getting paid, and I put it in my personal statement. I said something like, being a doctor, I had to regularly handle with and deal with complaints, speaking to the general public all the time, explaining to often customers in an angry and calm, rational manner, being effective in my communication, working team. So blah, 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 blah. But just something that you can translate towards being in a clinical setting. So yes, so that's throughout year 12. And then obviously you want to be smashing out your grades. You need 3 A's at least achieved. But with your predicteds, 3 A's is a minimum. I would strongly try and get good year 12 results. I think it's changed now, but just do well. So your school can predict you hopefully 3 A stars or 2 A stars and an A, 1 A star and an A, or bare minimum 3 A's. Because medical schools, you're not getting into a medical school if you don't get 3 A's straight up. And obviously Oxbridge is 2 A stars and an A, so it's stupidly competitive. So yeah, smash them out. And then when you've done with year 12 and you're in your summer holidays, you don't really get much of a break with medicine. It is a grinder. So you want to be doing over your summer holidays, like I said, I would start reading some medical books. You could do this throughout year 12 as well. So I've actually got some that I've read, so I'd like to share them with you. So the one I haven't read yet, and I don't know if I will, but I probably will. Trust me, I'm a junior doctor, apparently it's funny, don't know. This one I read, Adventures in Human Being by Gavin Francis. This is a good one because it shows off the ever-evolving nature of medicine, because it gives you the history of medicine. And so I rattled on about that in my personal statement, and I also said, because I had it quite interesting mix of different diseases, different treatments, different preventative medicines. So it also talked about electroconvulsive therapy, which I found quite fascinating. Put that in my personal statement and giving a presentation on it soon for another class. So yeah, you can pick up some skills from that. So these are the two that you can either pick between or read both if you've got no life like me. So there's Fragile Lives and Do No Harm. Obviously, Do No Harm, if you know much about medicine, it's a bit of a cliche in terms of medical applicants. Everyone's read it, but it is a good book and it is pretty funny. Fragile Lives is the same. So this is about a neurosurgeon, this is about a cardiac surgeon, autobiographies. They're both interesting. Yeah, bang them both out. This one's a bit meatier, but yada yada. And this one is the funniest one by far. I would strongly recommend this one because you bang for your buck and you get a few laughs out of it. It's actually hilarious. This is going to hurt by Adam Kay. Like, I don't usually laugh when I read books, but oh my god, that was stupidly funny. Right, so yeah, and then while you're over your summer holidays, try and get your personal statement going. So I know it's hard, but try and bring together everything that you've started to gather, your skills you can apply to your personal statement, so book reading, stuff like that. So that's personal statements, and to get a general idea, because when I was writing a personal statement, I had no idea. So a good website, and I'll link it in the description, is 6med, and they have a personal statement branch, and they're all Oxbridge students, and they put in their personal statements, literally their own personal statements. Obviously don't plagiarise it, but then you get a general feel for how to structure a personal statement, and it really helped me. So yeah, I would strongly suggest that site. It's godly, it's really good. Okay, and then obviously also you have your UKCAT, yay, the absolutely tragically shittest and most stressful exam I've ever done. Well, part of the BMAT, but yeah, we'll get to that later. The UKCAT exam. So over the summer holidays, I gave myself, second time around, 8 weeks, and I didn't even do that well again. Got 652.5 or something, I think, 2630 band 2. Obviously I got my UKCAT uni, so it worked, doesn't actually matter, but I remember walking out of that exam and thinking I did absolutely shit again. But no, it is a stressful exam, and I can sympathise with you how stressful it is. You just got to get over it, it's another hurdle. So people say people recommend this ISC UKCAT book. I bought it, it's absolute garbage. Like, half the questions are impossible. I'm not that academically able, but they're so hard, and they're harder than the UKCAT exam. Last year, obviously, because I told you I'm a gap year student, the first time I went for it, and I absolutely done pants, I got 600. Went on a CAT plan course and got this strategy book. Again, absolute garbage. Wouldn't recommend any courses for the UKCAT, just do it yourself. And so the second time around, I used a godly site called Medify. £45 for 2 months preparation, which is what I use. So 2 months, I'd say, is decent time to be preparing for your UKCAT. Medify, UKCAT's on the computer. Medify is on the computer like a theory test. So Medify is all you need. It's absolutely insane. It's really good, and it's really cheap, because obviously us medical students or aspiring medical students are absolutely broke. So yeah, cheap is good. Go for that. Okay, so I would recommend Medify. I'll put that in the link as well. This is for UKCAT preparation, and then yeah, just hammer it out. You'll get there. Like, I'm not that smart. If you're a grinder like me, you can get through it, and you can smash the UKCAT. So that gets us on the timeline of around starting year 13. So you want to be looking at medical schools now. And a big tip I can say when applying to medical school is apply based on your strengths and do your research. So when you're applying, look at what you're good at. So if you're a candidate that's got 13 A stars, apply to a heavy GCSE medical school, I think Cardiff, for example. So just look at their selection procedures and apply on your strengths. And for myself, my strengths were, obviously I've got the A star AA achieved grades in biology, chemistry and maths, and I've got a whole year to gather an eclectic mix of additional skills. So if you're a gap year student, that's a big plus. You get a year to just folly about and get more skills, if you can call it that, by volunteering more, just doing more things, just be proactive, volunteering, taking up a sport, anything. For me, I've volunteered. I've started up a course over my gap year in my local year of college, instructing exercise and fitness, working with SEND students on a Friday, so disabled students. I know I don't like the acronym SEND, I have no idea what it means, but apparently that's the correct term now, don't know why. But call it SEND students, and it's amazing. It's a great experience. And yeah, I've just learned a lot of skills, and I don't want to rattle on, but I put it in my personal statement, and obviously it's worked. So yeah, just go on, find some new things to do, keep building up your eclectic mix of skills. Alright, and that'll take us, so you want to be finishing your personal statement around October time. Again, use your school will have a lot of good resources, hopefully minded, to just like check it and make sure it's not trash. And then that leads us to the BMAT. So the BMAT is just the UKCAT on steroids essentially. It is a beast. So I didn't do the BMAT the first time around, I done it the second time around, so it was new to me. And what I could recommend is, obviously, when you're starting it, you have to actually learn stuff. Unlike the UKCAT, you have to learn GCSE knowledge. And I didn't do physics at A level, and there's physics. So beautiful. You have to really, just learn physics again. Unless you've got an eidetic memory, you can remember it from GCSE. But I can't. So what I done was, there's a site, again, 6med, they're just insane, called BMAT Ninja. It's like, I think £70 for all free resources. But what I did was I bought the first resource, which was like the information which you require, and you can just go through that. I done little cards for it, and so I learned the information, I wrote down the information I had to know, and then I tested it buying this book, the BMAT Guide. Strong book, would very much recommend it. I think it was like 20 quid. Really good, just to get your skills, like get used to the exam style. Not prepare, not be ready, but just get used to it. And then the 6med again, BMAT Ninja site has past papers, because obviously the BMAT is like a exam. It's like an actual exam, unlike the UKCAT. So you get it gets marked by an examiner, and you get it back a month later or so. So it's on paper. So yeah, I practice on paper. And then you'll get there. It is a grinder. Give yourself at least 8 weeks, and you can do it. Like, if I can do it, trust me, you can do it. You got this. Alright, so that's the BMAT. And then you're golden. Then you're just going to be chilling. So apart from that time, I would also look into doing an EPQ. If you're applying to Oxbridge or UCL or Imperial, they want them top nerds who can do the research, have the scientific curiosity, as well as the doctor skills, so human engagement, blah, yada, yada, yada. So I would do an EPQ. I didn't do one obviously at the time, but I wish I did. I would strongly recommend a medical related EPQ. You can rattle about it in your personal statement and stuff like that. It's a good thing to do, and it's easy grades if you've got a good EPQ supervisor. It's like an AS level, I think, so it's easy AS level to bang out. And then so what I did for interviews is, I've done so far is I've bought a ISC medical interview book, and this is all you need just to get used to the familiar questions and sort of mark schemes. But a big tip is, do not become a robot. So you want to get your personality out there. That's what the interview's about at the end of the day. They want to see if they like you. So do not become a robot and say, I wanted to study medicine. It is a great blend of scientific and human engagement. Blah. No, you don't want to do that. You want to become unique and personal when you're talking to them. So this gives you a good starter, but develop your own ideas and your own panache, so to say, using your personal statement and your own mix of experiences. So what I've tried to do is, I've just read through that. I've also tried to come up with why I want to go to each specific uni and how it applies to me. And a big tip is, when you're going to the interview for the uni, even if it's not your first choice, make them believe you. Make them believe you that it is your first choice. So you can do that in a number of ways. I'll be making more videos about how to get into each specific uni I've applied to, so UCL, Manchester, Plymouth and St Andrews. So what to say, the course type, the location, yada yada, but I'll be doing that later. So and then that's it. And then you're golden. Smash out your A-levels after that, and you will be a medical student. So I'm not even going to think about being a medical student, that's just bare stress, but we'll come to that bridge when we cross it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you really got something out of this video. Hopefully to many more. Catch you later. Bye.